So I'm not trying to rush things along. I'm just taking it easy. I put mine in the fridge for 15 minutes, give it a chance to firm up. It's going to make my life a lot easier. I'm really glad I did that because now I've got a good solid crumb coat, had a chance to clear my head, and I'm ready to put on the final coat on this cake. It's really no different than any other cake, but I'm going to go ahead and start by putting some on the top. Putting some icing here on the top, just kind of getting a good coat started. And I just want to make sure I'm going to have a reasonable amount of thickness in my icing. So top is done. Let's go ahead and get some material on the sides. In typical fashion, I'm going to go ahead and apply it to the sides just like I normally do. Up over the top, pushing down and off to the side. I'm going to put a fair amount of icing on the sides here to make sure I've got enough to not only cover the sides, but to provide a little bit of extra for the top after I have a chance to scrape it smooth.
How is it cheating? You're just typing that if you want. I just thought it was a long way to type it out, Emily. Alright, screw yourself. Oh.
Okay, so
I kept crumbling and I'm like, no.
okay, so here's
Alright, so this was final coat. I'm going to go ahead and scrape this smooth. We'll see how much more icing I need to put on here.
I'm hungry. It's really good. For me. It's really good for me.
Okay, it's pretty clear after my first attempt here that I still need some icing in certain spots. So I'm going to go ahead and put some extra icing in certain spots, get those all filled in, and be ready to scrape it smooth again. And you'll see what I'm doing because I got holes here I'm filling with icing. Just voids, unfilled areas, things that need to be filled to make sure we get smooth all the way around.
check up finding the body of the cake. It's like finding God. You can do it sometimes you can't, but try. You should get it.
Okay, so let's go for another scrape smooth. Okay, so now we've got a pretty smooth sides. I'm not going to go for totally smooth because I'm still going to use a cake comb on this cake. So let's see what happens when we smooth off the top.
That is good. That was insane. Looks decent.
It is coming out pretty good. You got some really good start there.
Sweet.
Not really.
He needs gloves. Starbucks.
else need more buttercream?
Yes.
If I get a new size.
There's a good chance we're gonna have a lot left over when we're done. You guys?
Oh, actually,
We're gonna have to wait till we're done, but.
Don't worry about a whole lot this coat. Just because if you're crumbling, you don't need, like, as long as you have the crumbs scratched out, you've got another coat to worry about the imperfection. Just go around, come over here. That's good. I put it in the fridge for a couple minutes, just let it firm up and just take it from the edge. Just in a straight line, don't film it. Try and keep like right angles on your edges. You don't do it.
Thank you.
And you can see what I'm doing here. I'm doing the same thing you are, Elizabeth. I'm just going straight across with almost flat tool. See, I'm almost flat, and I just go straight across and just gently give it a little rub. I'm not looking to take off a lot of icing here. I'm just looking to go straight across. No, none of this dome. I don't want to go from here to there. I want to go from straight across. It just takes a little concentration, to keep that level, but with some practice, it gets easier each time you do it. All right, so with this outer coat on here, I'm going to go ahead and comb this right now.
If you need a lot of pressure, just let it kind of glide over the top and the bottom or through the top.
I want to comb it so that I get a nice mark, but it's not too deep. You're going to notice I use the small teeth. So these are the small teeth on the comb. There's big teeth. Big teeth go really deep. Be aware of that if you're combing with the big teeth, because it'll need more icing to be full, to actually make the teeth of this completely full. So I like using the small teeth. I'm going to get it spinning, and then I'm going to go ahead and just touch it to the cake as I go. So nice and fast. And I got a pretty nice comb out of that. I just went really fast.
Be careful not to
just brought it in, touched it. I didn't take off much icing, as you can see. I just took maybe a gram of icing off the cake. But the idea wasn't to dig deep. The idea is simply to create a mark, create a visual look. And that's what I've got here. I've got just a nice comb all the way around. As I did that, I also create a little bit of a ridge. So I'm going to go across here and flatten off my top again, just to make sure everything's looking nice and clean. Alright, so basically, short of a little bit of cleanup, this cake is almost done. I'm just going to I'm going to portion it, and I'm going to be putting on some pearls on every portion. One pearl on each portion. Alright, to portion this, I'm going to come up above it so I can really see what's half. Make a little line. Here's my 1/5. I have to sort of guess this. I don't know if you can see that well in the picture, but well, you're not really very well.
Hold your neck right up here. Slowly. Keep it. Here, I'll even spin this.
Now, on camera you can barely see my portion lines. They're very, very light. That's one key with the portions. You don't have to dig very deep. A lot of people go really heavy-handed with the back of their knife trying to create portion lines. Remember, a waiter can see even the most subtle portion lines. They really don't need much. And all you're doing is creating it for the waiter to allow them to be able to see it well enough so they can cut it for their guests. From there, I'm putting a little bit of icing in a piping bag. We're going to go ahead and make some pearls.
Straight enough.